My name is Lynette Willie. I am the property manager here at NAPI, and I have worked with NAPI for about 9 years this year. I will make 10 years next year in February. I started out with NAPI in the Human Resources Department, and in 2019 I transitioned over to the property manager position here at NAPI. So in my current position, I've been there for about a year and a half right now. I was born and raised in Shiprock, New Mexico, but I spent a majority of my childhood with my grandma. So I was practically raised by my grandma in Sonosti. So every summer, every spring break, basically any break that I had from school, I would stay there at my grandma's. So a lot of my upbringing was brought up, or I guess came from my grandma. I think the interesting thing where I grew up was because it's on the reservation and where my grandma lived, it's really deserted. She had a lot of sheep. So I grew up having that discipline of being woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, being chased outside to herd sheep, take them out, get them to a good location for them to graze, come back, cook. My grandma didn't have television, no running water, no electricity in the beginning, and eventually she got that. So as I got older, my chores, I guess, or my routine during the day changed. So without electricity, I would have to herd sheep. We had to clean around my grandma's house, feed the other animals. The rest of my day was weaving. So my grandma taught me how to weave. That was the majority of my day. And then in the evening, we would have to bring the sheep back in. So as I got older, my cousins would stay. So I would have to also take care of my cousins during that time. I think the class that I dreaded the most was my presentations and communications class, but that I think is a class that helped me the most now in my current position. More so when I was in human resources, because I had to talk to people. I had to do interviews, so there was a lot of face-to-face communication. There was training that I had to do, so I had to present to our new hires. I had to present to our current employees. Now in my position as property manager, I still have to do training for our new hires when they come in over my department and what we do here at NAPI, how we work with the employees, how we work with the other departments. My communications class was more face-to-face presentation style, but what I picked up from there was basically that communication is going to be in any field, any career that you're going to go into. You're going to have to learn how to speak to somebody. You're going to have to get over your shyness. You're going to have to know who your audience is, and you have to know basically what you're talking about when you're presenting to people. No ums, no I don't know, I'm not sure. So my communications class in high school at the time didn't really appeal to me, but has really helped me now in my career. Well, when I was in HR, my education, I have a bachelor's degree, well, actually an associate's degree from Dene College. I had a dual major in business administration and computer information systems. From there, I went to Arizona State University in Tempe, and I got my bachelor's degree in business administration. From there, it took me a while, like a 6-year break, but I eventually went back to get my master's degree. So I now have my master's degree in business administration. And all of those really has helped me in my field in property management and in human resources. But in HR, I did receive my SHRM certification, so that's Society of Human Resource Management. And that certification, it is a pretty difficult test that you have to take. I had to study for maybe 6 months to a year for that certification. it's been so long since I've taken it. It's a couple of hours for you to take that test, and it's a mishmash of essay questions, behavioral questions, scenario questions, true and false questions. You have to hit a certain percentage in order to pass. If you don't pass, then you have to retake the course again. But I fortunately passed my first time, so I have my SHRM certification. I got that in December of 2019, and I've had that ever since. So that really shows in human resources that you are experienced and knowledgeable in your field. In property management right now, it would be helpful for me to get a certification in property management, but because I'm new to this field, I have not received one yet. So when I first come in, I check my emails right when I come in and address anything that I need to do. I flag anything that I add to my to-do list for the day. I then check my calendar if I have any meetings scheduled for the day. If I do, then of course I have my reminders. I prepare for my meetings, get my documents together. If I'm the one presenting, I make sure I have all of my flash drive, my computer, my presentation software, like not software, but equipment. And depending on what projects I have, like right now I have new fleet vehicles that we have purchased, so they're slowly coming in. And so I have to check that to make sure that we have all of the vehicles, that we have insurance for it, we have the license plate, we have drivers assigned to them, that we set them up on our portal that we have with Enterprise. We also are in our audit period, so we're going to be doing physical inventory for all of our equipment and our fleet vehicles, so setting up the paperwork for that. And I basically work with different projects and follow up on different things throughout the day. And at the end of the day, I just make sure that I like to make lists and check off what I need to do or what I have completed and what I need to do the next day, and just kind of move my list around so I know what I need to do the following day. If there's anything else I need to follow up, I just flag it on my email, and then that will pop up again the next day or on my calendar. So I, again, know what I need to follow up on, what I need to do for that day. The favorite part of my job right now is working with the employees. Well, granted, in property management, I don't get a lot of that interaction, but I do have a lot of new hires, new employees, new managers who still need some assistance in their department. So a favorite part of my day usually will be when I have other managers coming to ask for my assistance or help them to figure out a problem that they have, or if they just need more information on a project that they're doing. My goal has always been really to be in management. So that's why I got my education. I made it a goal of mine to get my education. And part of me getting that education was so that I can get to the management level. So right now I'm looking more towards succession planning and coaching. I have one staff member under me, and I'm not saying that I'm going to leave my position right away, but I do like to coach and I like to train, and just so when I need a day off or if I need to fill in another department for a while, I want to make sure that my staff member is able to do the work that needs to be done in that department and just make sure she's prepared. And so right now I'm doing succession planning, so she's slowly learning the job functions that I'm doing, getting her involved in the big projects that I'm involved in, and making sure that she knows the work that needs to be done for it, and just preparing her for the time if I do decide to transition to another department or another field. In 5 years, I would like to still be in management, some form of management. It could be where I am right now in property. I've been with NAPI for nearly 10 years, so I'd like to also learn a different part of the farm. So if not in property management, I could be a manager in a different department here at NAPI. What has really helped me, I think, has been listening, your listening skills. if you're not listening to the people that you're talking to or the people that are talking to you, you will really not be credible. People will not want to talk to you. They don't want to work with you. They may not trust you because you're not listening to what they say. They may feel like you don't care. You don't have an interest in what they're trying to tell you, whether it's them training you, whether it's just simple conversation. And that too goes from your personal life to your work life. You have to be able to listen, actively listen to people, and that will really take you far.